Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. I want to go for a walk. I haven't taken you for a walk in a while. Neighbors, if they're watching, probably think I've completely lost my mind walking around talking into a stick. It's a gorgeous morning out here. It's cooled down. Feels great. Feels great, clear sky. Supposed to get really hot this weekend for Memorial Day, but who cares? It is what it is. It's just one of the things that we can't do anything about, no matter how much we complain. We talk about the weather, we complain about the weather, we worry about the weather. They're always predicting doom and gloom about the weather. They're telling us that our planet is going to stop existing because of climate change and global warming and this and that, without ever realizing what the history of this has been over the last few billion years. That what we might consider normal today is not normal, but just one instantaneous little stopping point along a curve that goes from ice age to ridiculously hot and then back to ice age again, because that is cyclical. And if something is cyclical, who are we to basically say where normal should be when it constantly changes? Now, we may not like the change, but there are forces at work that we have an awfully hard time regulating, and that's the weather. And we can't do anything about the weather, so why agonize over it? What happens is going to happen. The best we can do is prepare ourselves and make sure we've got a nice, safe place to hide when the shit hits the fan. The weather isn't the only thing that they want us to worry about. I don't know why. Everybody wants to be an alarmist. Every day, new videos are coming out telling me, you know, that stuff you were worried about yesterday, that's not really important. Let me tell you what's even more important that you need to worry about today. I have viewers of mine, great people. They keep sending me links to these videos. Got one the other day that said, the United Nations is planning an attack on the United States. I'm sorry. I appreciate you're wanting to keep me in the loop, and I appreciate your intentions, but for reasons which I suppose I could explain and maybe should, there are things where I just would rather not have that to think about. I've got enough to think about. We're all worried about our health. We're all worried about our country. We're all worried about the upcoming election. We're worried about the hurricane season here in Florida. What disasters might come this year? We're worried about our families, about whether our car is going to break. I could stand here all day and keep coming up with things that we worry about. We worry about the health of our animals. We have so much to worry about. It's an old saying, 99% of the stuff you worry about doesn't happen anyway, so why worry? We worry because it's in our nature to want to try to be prepared and plan for these things. And unless you think about these things, how are you going to plan for them? But for me, I'd rather not worry. I'd rather live my life with the confidence in myself and my abilities to say, you know what, whatever happens is going to happen. When and if it happens, I'll address it and I'll deal with it. But for me, to listen to fear mongering, crisis mongering, from morning until night, watching the news, watching videos that want me to prepare for an upcoming invasion of America by the United Nations. Sorry, can't do it. This is not an insult to the viewers that send me these videos. I just, I don't want to watch it because, like so many other things, if it happens, there's nothing I can do about it. I learned that lesson in business. I learned that lesson when the entire economic environment changed and put me out of business for one reason or another, that there was no way I could have prepared for something that nobody knew about. Sure, right now everybody's predicting crash of the stock market, the crash of the housing market, economic disaster, the destruction of the power grid, descending into anarchy. Everybody's always predicting all of these doomsday scenarios, and God knows we've got enough movies out there that attempt to show us what these dystopian futures would be like. Got a new worry yesterday. Talked about it. This nonsense with Facebook. Deleting users' accounts, calling them dangerous, threatening them with lawsuits because they dare tell somebody to eat bacon and eggs. While people are given handouts by cardiologists telling them to get their medical advice from Netflix vegan documentaries. None of this makes any sense. So I don't want to live in this doom and gloom world. I want to enjoy the benefits that I'm feeling, the good health, the energy, the clear head. I don't want to take my clear head and use it to worry all day. I want to think about positive things. I want to think about ways to enjoy my life. I have to delete those emails. I'm sorry. I cannot and will not pollute my mind and my attitude with wild conspiracy theories. Maybe they're true. I don't care. And that brings me to this point. People ask me, Mitch, why don't you want to get more and more blood tests, more and more scans? Why don't you want to know exactly what might be wrong with you? Why don't you want to know these things? We want to know these things. We want you to go through all these procedures and tests and scans so that we'll know if we should do what you're doing. Sorry. Sorry, folks. I don't care. I don't want to know. And I'll tell you why I don't want to know. Because if I knew, I would want to do something about it. If I couldn't do anything about it, that would ruin the rest of my life. I'd be basically waiting for it to kill me, whatever it might be. And here's the point I'm trying to make. At this point in my life, I am doing virtually everything in my lifestyle that would be the thing to do if any of these scans and test results came out undesirable. For example, if I found out I had a high calcium score, what could I do to fix that? Well, I could go on a carnivore diet and exercise and walk every morning. I'm already doing that. So if I found out that I had coronary artery calcium, there's nothing I could do. Now, if I was having chest pains or symptoms, yes, there might be something I could do. I might have to get some stents or other things, but that's a plumbing problem. That's not a metabolic problem or a physiology problem. That's basic plumbing. I don't mind allowing doctors to fix plumbing. And if I have a symptom, if I ever have that first chest pain or shortness of breath, yes, I'll deal with it. But for me, I feel great. I think I'm perfectly healthy. I'm going off of some cardiac and carotid ultrasounds from a couple of years ago that show that my arteries are clear. I know that I'm eating right. I don't want to have to think about or worry about anything going wrong with my body. I'm not going to live forever, and neither are you. I'm 77 years old. Accuse me of putting my head in the sand, so be it. I don't want to spend my time and the rest of my life paranoid about what crisis or disaster is going to come along and hurt me. Like I said already, I will live with the confidence in my own ability and resources to handle any one of these crisis scenarios when or if it happens. Until then, I am going to enjoy the morning sun. I am going to exercise, eat right, be positive, enjoy my friends in the carnivore community, and most importantly, I'm going to take the rest of the day off and eat meat.